You need and want to save money on your grocery bill. And in this episode, we're going to share and speedrun 10 super practical ways to do just that. So tune in and take notes.
Welcome to the CrossFit Edwardsville Community Podcast, where we hear and learn from our coaches, CrossFitters, and Glen Ed community leaders. Now, here are your hosts, Dallas and Greg.
So we know that it's tough out there right now, and with the economy and inflation, your grocery bill is probably higher than it's been in a while. And then the cost of everything else too, rent and gas, all of that is up as well. And it hits you right in the pocketbook and you're struggling, and we get it. So one of the things that we like to do with this podcast is find practical ways that you can reduce your overhead so you can still buy healthy food and get it for less than your current grocery bill. In this episode, I'm going to share and speed run through 10 really practical ways that you can bring your grocery bill down now, so it makes it easier for you to eat healthy on a regular basis. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Step number one is a hallmark of all people that do really well with their health and their fitness. You plan meals, and when you go shopping on a regular basis, you stick to your list. What do I mean? So when you're doing meal prep and prepping your meals from the week, focus on recipes that use overlapping ingredients so that if you have a little bit extra of one, you can carry over to the other and vice versa. Additionally, have a shopping list before you go shopping. Write down what you need and then buy only what you need to avoid impulse buys. Additionally, I like to do themed meals. Like I'll rotate inexpensive staples like my rices, my beans, and use different toppings and seasonings to avoid monotony. But by sticking to the list based on your actual meal plan, every grocery shopping trip will cost you less. Step number one, pick planned meals, stick to a list. Number two, buy in bulk. This could be at your Aldi, could be at your Costco, could be at Sam's Club. Buying in bulk, especially with staples like your coffee, depending on what meal plan you're on, your oats, beans, lentils, grains can all be bought in bulk very inexpensively. They're versatile and they're shelf stable and tend to last a while. So even if you buy a lot, it won't necessarily go bad before you get a chance to use it. Also, when it comes to buying in bulk for protein sources, bulk packs of chicken or turkey or plant-based protein can be frozen for future use if you have a second freezer. We have a second freezer here at my home, deep freezer, and we store meats like our red meats long-term there. And hopefully, if I get a deer this upcoming hunting season, I'll be storing my venison there as well. And sourcing my own is additional way of saving some money on proteins. It's effectively buying in bulk with bullets. Pro tip. Let's go to point number three, shop seasonal and local. So when it comes to seasonal produce, fruits and vegetables that are in season are almost generally always cheaper and fresher. And especially if you go to farmers markets, you can find deals there, especially toward the end of the day when vendors may offer discounts to unload produce or supply that they can't keep longer. So pro tip with farmers markets, shopping seasonal and local, especially toward the end of the day. Let's go to point number four, frozen and canned options. Use them. I've never seen somebody fail to achieve their health objectives by using frozen veggies versus fresh ones, using canned veggies versus fresh ones. I'm a big fan of the steamable bags of veggies myself because they are so practical, they're so easy to use, and they give you all the nutrients associated with eating vegetables in the first place. So when it comes to frozen produce, use these options, frozen and canned. They're often just as nutritious as fresh and often way cheaper. They also reduce waste because they don't spoil as quickly, so they can last longer in your storage or your fridge as well. And then when it comes to canned goods, you can get veggies, beans, fish like tuna or salmon in a canned option, often fairly inexpensively. So use frozen and canned options as point number four. So tip number five is to go generic. And I think you know where I'm going with this. Your generic or your store brand options of pantry staples are often the exact same thing, but without the price tag. As the name brands, they cost significantly less. And by going with the generic brand of, if you eat breakfast cereal, that, for example, or whatever like your staple foods are, man, you can save a ton of cash by going with the generic brand. Sometimes with the store brand, if you're shopping at Sam's Club or Target as well, it can bring the price down for some of those things. So that's another way. Going generic, point number 5. Point number 6, and this is just a good idea. Cut out all prepackaged and processed foods. What do I mean? Like your pre-cut stuff, single serving snacks cost more per unit, and you should just avoid prepackaged and processed foods to begin with as much as possible. When I talk about processed foods, I'm talking about something that's not real food, where you got like your bags of Cheetos, your bags of chips, all of these things. Like, if it's not something that's grown in nature or on a farm somewhere, it's probably not real food. You probably should avoid it. And so avoid those things. Cutting those out is point number 6. Also buy whole produce and portion or prep it yourself. All right, let's go to point number 7, using coupons, deals, and apps. So a lot of the grocery stores now and mass retailers like Walmart's and Target's and Schnucks, they have reward and loyalty programs. They give you discounts and cash back opportunities. This could be a way of putting some money back in your pocket as well. And then there are certain apps that I keep hearing about, like Ibotta, Ibotta, or Fetch Rewards, FETCH Rewards. These apps I've heard can also help you get money back on certain purchases, which is worth looking into. Point number 7, use coupons, deals, and apps. Point number 8, choose inexpensive superfoods. So there are certain foods that are very nutrient dense and typically less expensive, like sweet potatoes or brown rice, bananas, cabbage, beans, and lentils. Lentils especially. I think I actually did a feature a little while back on my socials where I talked about how you can literally feed a household for weeks on $40 worth of lentils bought from Walmart. And lentils they're so nutrient dense. There's protein in them. They've got carbohydrate load in them. And it's a whole lot of nutrient, a whole lot of food for very little cost. They're inexpensive superfoods, and you should take advantage of those. Point number 9, make your own snacks. Homemade granola, trail mix, hummus are cheaper and healthier than so many store-bought variations of the same. Obviously, taking fruits, chop it up into smaller snack-sized portions and carrying those with you. Also a very practical way to have snacks to keep your hunger cravings at bay while you're out and about and keep you from making poor restaurant decisions or fast food decisions because the hunger demons inside of you talk you into a bad idea. Make your own snacks, point number 9. And finally, point number 10, minimize waste. If you store your food properly, your produce and leftovers will last longer. You won't throw away as much stuff. Also, I like to use what I call leftover creativity, where I use leftovers in soups or stir fries with my meats stovetop. And that can take foods that may otherwise be tossed out and turn them into a last minute fresh on the stove meal for myself or my family. So bonus. Well, let's do this first. We'll recap 10 practical steps to buy healthy food for less than your current grocery bill. Number 1, plan meals, stick to a list. Number 2, buy in bulk. Number 3, shop seasonal and local. Number 4, use frozen and canned options. Number 5, go generic. Number 6, cut out prepackaged or processed foods. Number 7, use coupons, deals, and apps. Number 8, choose inexpensive superfoods. Number 9, make your own snacks. Number 10, minimize waste. And for those of you who made it this far in the podcast, here's a bonus, an example, budget-friendly grocery list. So, proteins, canned chicken, chicken thighs, dried beans, canned tuna, eggs. Veggies, your frozen and steamable broccoli or cauliflower, carrots, spinach, seasonal produce for veggies. For fruits, bananas, apples, and mixed berries. For snacks, nuts bought in bulk are not only massively nutrient dense, nourishing to your body. If you buy them in bulk like I do, you actually save quite a bit on that too. And they are very filling as well. Great snacks to have with you on the go. Hey, that's a ton of content we just covered here, but hopefully you guys found it valuable. If you have, we'd love to hear from you in the comments section below. Tell us your thoughts and what strategies you use to get healthy food for less. For now, you can check us out on all the socials at CrossFit Edwardsville and CrossFitEdwardsville.com. For now, thank you for the gift of your time and your attention, and we'll see you guys in the next episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening to my dad's podcast. For more useful tools and guidance, go to CrossFitEdwardsville.com and feel free to like, share, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comment sections down below. See you in the next episode.